let's talk about my creep. Carl wants to talk about vampires. His vampire was born in 1978. My vampire.
Oh! You brought a vampire?
I have the creepiest vampire of 1978. Committed his crimes in 1 month. Wait, January 1978.
Wait, is this the creepiest vampire we're doing this week? By
it
mistake?
Must fucking be.
Wow.
It must be because, ladies and gentlemen, it's game point, so it's fucking on, Carl.
Let's go.
I've done my research myself, so I will not be playing other people's clips. And, ladies and gentlemen, I have come prepared with a photo.
So you watched other videos and wrote it down? I like to bring a
read articles. I
also read an article. I bring a presentation with me, Vinny. I have multiple sources. I have news reports.
Sure.
Don't start with this bullshit that I'm not doing anything over here. Don't even start with this.
All right. I won't start with anything. Why are you so upset?
How dare you?
Why are you so upset?
How dare
Calm
you?
down, pal. Relax. Just sit back, relax. I'm going to do my thing now.
Okay.
So this is Richard Chase. This is him in 1978, Carl. Handsome gentleman, eh?
Dick Chase.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the McDonald triad?
I am not.
Okay. So I thought I was. It turns out it is not double quarter pounder with cheese, large fries, and a couple of Cokes.
Okay. What is it?
It turns out that it is a thing that psychologists call the keys to sociopathy.
Okay.
And there's warning signs in children. So I thought this was interesting enough to bring up. Here's what they link: cruelty to animals, obsession with fire setting, and persistent bedwetting.
A serial killer.
These are the things that you need to be looking out for if your child is doing that. You might have a real sociopath on your hands. And not only did my creep today display all of these characteristics as a child, his parents didn't give a fuck. They just let him do whatever.
All right.
So not only is he setting fires, killing cats, dogs, and other animals for shits and giggles, he was also ruining all the sheets. So he's a creep. He developed a disease called hypochondria, which he became a hypochondriac. He thought there was a lot of problems wrong with his body.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's some examples. He would complain that sometimes his heart would just stop beating for hours at a time.
That's probably not true.
Yep. And he also thought that someone stole his pulmonary artery at one point.
Oh, Jesus.
Give it back.
I need that.
Now, this is the best one.
I was using that.
This is the best one.
Okay.
He felt like he had a vitamin C deficiency.
Okay.
So what he would do is he would peel oranges and squish them into his forehead.
Does that help?
No.
I didn't think so.
No, it's what a crazy person does.
You can just eat the oranges, sir. They're delicious.
Yeah, and it's probably really feels great. You feel really invigorated after the orange juice drips into your eyes.
Yeah. Especially if you cut yourself shaving that day. That's a lot of fun.
Dude, he was really fucking whacked out, this kid. He thought that his cranial bones had all become separated and were moving around. So he shaved his head so he could monitor it.
Good idea. Smart.
Yeah. He's really...
This guy spent a lot of time staring into the mirror, didn't he?
He bothered his parents.
Yeah.
Is what I think I picked up on this. And they encouraged him to get the fuck out of the house as soon as they could. And they rented an apartment for him nearby. But they didn't really stop by as often as maybe they should have. Because that hypochondria kind of turned into some more issues. Because he started to believe that he didn't have enough blood, that his blood was turning to powder.
Uh-oh.
And the only way to stop this from happening was to
add water to it.
No, get more blood. So he started adopting pets and doing experiments on himself, Carl.
Okay.
And he did this stuff for a while until one day he decided to slaughter a rabbit that he got from a shelter.
What did he do for a living? Does this guy have a job?
His parents paid for his apartment.
See, that's the problem.
And what he did with the blood from the rabbit was he injected it into his own veins.
Did he check to see if it was the right blood type first?
Nope.
I think you should probably do that.
No, he became very ill and was hospitalized. And when his parents went to his apartment, they were horrified to find animal carcasses and blood and all sorts of, like, basically a slaughterhouse inside of this apartment. And they're like, Jesus Christ, our kid fucked up again. We're going to lose the security deposit, Cheryl.
Oh, bitch.
So they have him committed.
Yes.
Okay. So he's in the nut hut and he does like this Renfield deal. You know, remember Renfield, the old Dracula, where he's sitting there trying to eat bugs and shit? He would sit there and wait by the window of his area. And when a bird would land by the sill, he got very good at grabbing birds and pulling them back in.
Nice.
And he would snap their necks and start drinking their blood. They caught him doing this twice.
Interesting.
They also let him.
So he learned how to actually drink something. Could have done that with the orange too, buddy.
He treated it like a fucking tab, dude. Like a tab fucking cola.
Okay.
Glug, 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 glug. Down the hatch.
Tab reference. This really is
78.
1978.
Yeah. Come on. I get points for that.
I agree.
So here's the fucked up part. He also stole syringes from one of the nurses' stations, and they had therapy dogs. They caught him sticking the syringes in the therapy dogs, trying to pull blood out of them.
I don't think that they should allow the inmates to steal syringes.
Correct.
It seems like they should have done a better job with that.
Now, by 1977, Carl, they had diagnosed him as paranoid schizophrenic,
Okay.
same as your guy. And after going a battery of treatments involving psychiatric drugs, guess what? They decided he's fine.
He's good. Let him out.
He's good.
Take your meds. We're good.
Yeah, just keep away from birds, dogs, and rabbits and any other animal, and you should be all right. Well,
And
moved-
was he all right, Vinny?
Well,
was he?
he was released into his mother's
I'm on
custody.
the edge of my seat over here.
He was listed, he went home with his mom, but after a while, he decided that, mom's trying to poison my blood. I should probably go out and find another apartment because, that's what was going on, clearly.
Yeah.
And he finds the want ads and gets an apartment with these guys. And this is what I've read about this. This lunatic passed his sane long enough to let these guys, for these friends, these people had an apartment together to rent their empty room to this guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They said they didn't know him very well. He called them his best friends from the day he moved in.
Oh, that's not
She's
good.
like, hey guys, we're all best friends now.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, hi. They said he used a lot of drugs, same way your guy did.
Okay.
He was constantly high.
What kind of drugs?
A lot of weed,
No.
lots of other stuff. I think he was doing some, I don't know if he was doing acid. I think acid,
You see,
but
kids, in the 70s, weed was considered a drug.
yes, those were the days.
Yeah.
Now, he also would walk around the apartment completely naked.
Okay.
And they said, dude, you can't live here anymore. Stop being naked. You're constantly being a problem. You're creeping out everybody. Could you please move out? He said, no, and just went back into his room. And these guys tried to get him out for months. And then you know what they decided to do?
What's that?
They all moved out.
Yeah, wow.
They just fucking said,
Someone's
fine,
gotta get the fuck
keep
out
it,
of here.
but we can't deal with you.
Yeah. Nice.
It was their place.
He outlasted them. That's
He
well done.
outlasted them. Now, during this time, now he's living there by himself, doing all the drugs he wants in the living room by himself, and no one is supervising him.
I don't know if he knows this, but
Drugs are bad. You shouldn't do drugs.
Well, guess what he starts doing now? Now he comes up with this new favorite drink.
okay.
Animal blood mixed with soda. So what he does is he starts killing animals and then mixing it and just having himself a Coke and a
I like
Coke
the,
and blood.
The soda part of that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
I would do that.
I'm fine with half the recipe.
Yeah.
Now, one night in August of 1977, all of this could have been stopped. Everything I'm about to tell you that happened could have been stopped. The police find him in Lake Tahoe, naked, covered in blood, carrying a bucket of blood with a liver in the back of his pickup truck.
Okay.
They realize that it's a cow liver, and they go, oh, this is from a cow? Have a good night, sir.
I mean, in this country, we do slaughter cows all the time, just nonstop, day and night. So that's not unusual.
Yeah, so what I'm saying here is, Carl, the cops saw a problem and
Yep.
decided to look the other way.
Yep. We don't want to deal with this.
Correct. Now, this guy is slipped through all the cracks in the system because his family, again, doesn't like him and doesn't want to be around him.
Mhm.
He's in this apartment by himself. He's no longer their problem. So it was around December 29th, 1977. He was feeling very lonely that his mother hadn't allowed him to come home for Christmas, and he was feeling very upset. So he starts driving around and he sees a gentleman. He's 51 years old. His name is Ambrose Griffin. He's helping his wife bring in some groceries. He drives by. He had somehow gotten his hands on a .22 caliber pistol, says, hey, sir. The guy turns around and shoots him in the chest and drives off.
Okay.
This was his first murder. This also started a new fun phase in his life, trying people's doorknobs.
Oh, that's fun. It's almost like when the old pay phones, you check to see if there was a dime in there or something.
Yes. And this is where he really gets the nickname of the Vampire of Sacramento, because he told cops later, hey, listen, if I saw a locked door, I just kept going. But if the door was open, the door was open.
Well, vampire has to be invited in, though.
Yeah, well,
So I don't know what that has to do with being a vampire.
that's where he got the nickname from, Carl.
That's
and I'm
stupid.
telling you the truth.
That's stupid.
Well, not as stupid as your face.
Shit.
Shit. So less than 2 weeks later, Chase walks into the house of a married couple while they were out.
Mhm.
He steals some shit, pisses in all of the drawers with all of their clothing in it,
That seems unnecessary.
and then took a shit on their son's bed.
Okay, that's funny.
The couple returned home while Chase was still inside the house. The husband attacked him, but Chase was able to flee because he's wiry and he's quick.
Mm-hmm.
He continued
And he had
running
just
around.
got done shitting, so he's feeling light on his feet.
He certainly was. He continued running around the neighborhood, trying people's doors at random houses to see if they were unlocked. And now here we are, January 23rd, 1978. Here we go, 1978. This is why this man is the creepiest person of 1978.
All right.
Chase entered the home of Teresa Wallen, who was very, very pregnant, through an unlocked front door. As he entered, he encountered Teresa as she was walking to go take out the garbage. He pulled out his .22 caliber pistol, aimed it at her, shot her in the head. He then knelt down over Teresa's lifeless body and fired an additional shot into her temple at point-blank range before dragging her into the bedroom, leaving a trail of blood. The 27-year-old then raped Teresa's corpse and fetched a knife from the kitchen, which he used to repeatedly stab her. Chase then carved her corpse open, removed several of her organs, and collected her blood in a bucket, which he then took into the bathroom to bathe in and smear across all the walls. He then returned to Teresa's corpse, sliced off her nipple, drank her blood from a yogurt container he found inside of the trash bag that she was going to take out, and before leaving, he then went out to the backyard, collected some dog shit, walked in and shoved it in the mouth of the corpse, and then he left.
This is not a joke.
Okay. 2 days after that, they found Teresa's body. Chase purchased 2 puppies from a nearby neighbor, which he killed, drank the blood of, and left the discarded bodies of them on a neighbor's lawn.
I hope it wasn't Eugene.
Chase's final murders would come on January 27th of 1978 when he entered the home of 38-year-old Evelyn Miroth, who was babysitting her 1-month-old nephew, David. Also inside the house was Evelyn's 6-year-old son, Jason, and a friend, Dan Meredith, the neighbor who came over to check on her. Evelyn was in the bath while Dan watched the kids. He went into the front hallway as Chase entered the home and was shot immediately at point-blank range. Chase shot Jason as he attempted to run into his mom's bedroom to hide. So now he's murdered a 7-year-old and the neighbor. He also executed David, the baby, at point-blank range. This is a 1-month-old baby. He then walked into the bathroom. Where
Those are easy to kill, by the way.
That's fish in a fucking
not
barrel.
that impressive, to be honest with you.
He then shot Evelyn once in the head while she was in the bathtub, dragged her corpse onto the bed where he had sex with it while simultaneously drinking her blood from a series of cuts he made with a knife at the back of her neck. Once he finished, Chase stabbed Evelyn's corpse half a dozen times in the asshole and other parts of her body. He then cut her body open, removed several organs, and once again started drinking her blood. Chase then went to retrieve baby David's corpse. He split the skull open and started eating out the brains. Then there's a knock at the door. Turns out little Jason, the one he shot already, had a friend coming over that day to play.
Oh, how fun.
Not for the friend.
Oh.
Well, this kid was very, very lucky because this freaked out fucking Richard. He freaks out and steals the woman's keys, jumps in her car, and peels away with the kid standing there at the front door going, "Can Jason come out to play?" Has no idea what's fucking happening.
Okay.
So he goes back home to his parents. Is like, "Hey, something weird just happened. Some weirdo ran out." They went over there, found the bodies, and because he fled so quickly, he left full fucking handprints and footprints.
Sure.
They were able to trace him down 5
Major
days
crimes.
later. Now,
Shit.
I forgot to mention something. When he ran out really quickly, one of the things he took with him,
Yeah.
the 1-month-old whose brains he was eating.
Oh, yeah.
He wasn't done yet.
With a to-go bag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they found Richard. They found him 5 days after this had happened and arrested him.
Yeah.
They didn't find the baby till like a month later, and they found the baby missing its head behind a church.
Okay.
So he just went back there to finish his snack after he went away. He went and sat behind a church eating a baby raw. Your guy was at least cooking shit. Okay. So after his arrest, police go to his apartment and they find the walls, floors, ceiling, refrigerator, and all of Chase's eating and drinking utensils were covered in blood. And then on May 8th, 1979, after his trial, he was found guilty of 6 counts of first-degree murder. They also rejected his guilt not guilty by reason of insanity plea and sentenced him to the gas chamber.
Okay.
And because he's a piece of shit,
Mhm.
he found a way to commit suicide in jail before we could kill him.
Oh, no kidding.
So, ladies and gentlemen, my biggest creep of 1978 is very clearly Richard Chase, the vampire of Sacramento. Let's do the right thing, people. Give Richard Chase his due and make Carl spin the wheel.